Okay, so why don't we move on to our next whiskey?
Yeah.
All right.
This is a Scotch Malt Whiskey Society bottling.
Ooh, fully loaded lemon.
46.76. So when you're
love
talking
it,
about the notes, the citrus notes in the last tasting, when we added water, I think this leads into this really, really nicely. This is 11 years old. It is 58.3%, 750 ml bottle. Distilled March 2007. Refill Hogshead, which is an ex-bourbon, and it's a Spey region, Speyside.
I'm always excited to get something from the Scotch Whisky Society. Like I do. I mean, I hate to like contaminate our tasting, but I always want to know what they write because it's always so poetic and like interesting, you know?
All right, here we go. Because it's called fully loaded lemon, I don't think this description is going to sway the jury any further.
Or we could smell it and then you could read it. I think you could smell it. Yeah, let's smell it and taste it and then you read it after.
That's some fully loaded lemon right there.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This reminds me.
I love this nose. I do love this nose.
This reminds me of like a really good tequila or a really good margarita when you have like that sip, you know, and you have like a squeeze of like, that's what this reminds me of. Like just the smell of it.
There's a tequila thing here. That's great.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have ever thought of that from a Scotch.
Oh my God.
Where's the Spey region, GlenAndrew?
The Spey region is around the River Spey, which runs kind of this way through Highland.
It's the one we were talking about earlier. Is Speyside is within Highland, so Speyside is technically a Highland.
Got it.
This region.
Cool. Awesome.
Just next to Aberdeenshire.
Aberdeenshire.
Where the hobbits live.
We're all little
That's
hobbits.
right.
Oh my God, that is, damn it, Andrew, that is so different. Like all of these.
Wow, that's
this
really
is like this has been such a journey. Like each of these is so different. Like the two center ones were somewhat similar because they both had like those sweetness to them, but but still, even those, like the sweetness was entirely different between them. And this is just like, and now we're going over here. And these are all like the last three were all Speyside, right? Am I wrong?
Let's see, Highland, Spey, and Spey.
cool.
The last two are Speyside.
Wow.
Third one was Highland.
Because I had such an idea in my mind of what Highland whiskey was, and it always was super peaty, super dark, you know? But I had no idea. It's totally biased.
Were you not paying attention during the Scotch whiskey experience? Did they give you the scratch and sniff card?
I was like 20 at the time, so I was just like, I'm excited to drink whiskey.
You should go back because I think they've updated it. Like they have more stuff now.
This is the tasting room is improved in the new place as well. This is actually from Glenlossie.
My God.
So it's keeping in spirit with the Glen.
Holy shit.
I love it.
How is this? I just like, how is this possible?
Yeah, this is like a totally different thing. I really like it a lot. And it is like the lemon zest, you know? It's just like the best parts of the outside of the lemon, just to give you a little bit of a raise
as you're zesting it, that little spray that comes up, that moist lemon air.
If we were to make a commercial for this flavor, it'd have a lot of like spurts, you know, like super close-up spurts.
Just mist.
Oh my God. Yeah. Andrew, this is amazing.
And the color, look at that. Look at how clear that is. That's great. Oh, look at that. Oh, I love it. Yeah. So good.
It's the same liquid, but it's nice to see that there's a different color balance on everybody's camera.
Yeah, this is how we do our color balance. Or every older, their same.
Let's we got to do the
color balance.
Scotch balance it.
GlenDavid, you're a little yellow. Joseph, you're too brown.
Oh my God, I can't get over this. Like and this is once again, this is the thing, like, you know, that I think Andrew, like the first time he talked about Scotch and he was excited about it, the thing that he mentioned was it's such a surprising drink. Every time I have a different Scotch, it is different than every other Scotch. And I was like, whatever. And then like,
give me the whiskey.
Yeah, give me the delicious beverage. And then like, yeah, no, it's absolutely true. It's so true. And this is such a great example of it. Like nothing tastes like, I've not had any Scotch that tastes like this ever. It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Well, the lemon is in the sourness there, that it kind of is almost a dry finish. The finish is still lingering though. It's still there.
And I would say, like, similar to the first one that we had, if somebody at a very fancy bar served me this alone as like a cocktail, I'd be like, wow, that's a really good cocktail. There's the complexity of the bitters and the sweets and all that stuff.
Well, I think usually I imagine when I'm building a house inside of a scotch that it is somewhere in Scotland. This house is in California in a lemon grove, near the Mexican border.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where this house is.
And it's your what is it? What's a grandmother in Spanish? Nieja.
Grande madre?
No.
Nieja? No.
Grand-mère is in French. I don't know.
That's French.
But it's like your Spanish or your Mexican grandmother that is like welcoming you back, very soothing. But it's sunny outside, but it's kind of like a distilled sort of vibe with the light coming through, and there's orange and lemon groves everywhere, and she's like, come back, welcome to the house.
Here's a pitcher of lemonade. Have a glass of lemonade.
Yeah.
I also made some lemon tarts, perhaps.
Yeah. We'll work the farm tomorrow, but today we enjoy each other's company. You know?
Wow. Yeah.
Image. I like this image you paint.
Mm-hmm. I like each of them being a specific type of grandmother with a specific type of cottage.
It's not always a grandmother. It's not always.
Monster, you know.
This is a completely different. Oh man, yeah. Now, once again, this is my favorite Scotch.
Damn.
And I like it's definitely my favorite Scotch today. Maybe not my favorite Scotch ever, but like it is so unique. This is so unique.
I would either say number 2 or number 4 is my favorite of the day.
It makes me fall in love with Scotch all over again. Like I loved all the Scotches today, but this is once again, it's one of those like, hey, I'm Scotch, but I'm like no Scotch you've ever had.
Well, Glenlossie is not a distillery most people have heard of. And in fact, I've been deep into Scotch for several years before I ever heard of Glenlossie. It's not, I don't know much about it. It's in Spey.
Damn, that's good.
How many distilleries are there in Scotland?
How many distilleries? Northwards of 160, I think, at last count.
Cool.
A lot of distilleries.
A lot of distilleries, but still a number that you can totally taste all of them.
Well, this is why this is called season 1, is that I want to make sure we try one bottle from every distillery.
Oh, that's so fun. That's great, man. Ooh. Next season I'm just pitching. Next season should be like a tournament.
Elimination
tournament where you get like, this is what we've decided to be the best
Scotch. The king of our Scotches.
King of our Scotches.
I don't know. I'm kind of against that, in that there would end up being a favorite Scotch when all of them are my favorite.
Yeah, that's very true. Because there's not like, it's for the day, it's for the occasion, for the experience. It's
how you're feeling that day. Like sometimes a nice sweet one from the Highlands is what you want. Sometimes a big, meaty, peaty thing from Islay is what you want.
Yeah, that totally.
All right, here's the notes, which I think we've hit a lot of them here. Lemon zest and lemon curd rested on pencil shavings. With
that's
notes,
so specific.
With herbal notes, whilst lemon drizzle cake sat beside gooseberries, baklava, and cream.
Whilst. Is it whilst or whilst? What is whilst?
Whilst. I always pronounced it whilst. It could be whilst.
Whilst, meaning in concurrence with. While this is happening. I always pronounced it whilst. Is it whilst?
I mean, sometimes Shakespearean American performers will say whilst, but I don't know if that's correct or not. Whilst. I've heard either.
If I pronounce it, it's probably wrong.
Well, no, there's no wrong, because also like Canadian pronunciation and British pronunciation of things is different. So there's not like there's a wrong, you know.
Well, we receive a lot from the Scots, so it's not a boot, it's about.
Ooh.
About.
Yeah, that seems like a Scottish pronunciation. Whilst sounds like more Scottish than whilst.
Whilst, yeah.
Whilst. Come over here, whilst I hit you.
Damn, man. I definitely want to live inside of this. Inside of this nose.
I like how much
So good.
they painted a picture with their description of the flavor profile. It was like it was a painting. Like it was like on top of pencil shavings. Holy shit, on top of pencil shaving. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's what I love about the Scotch Whisky Society is those descriptions. It's one of the things, you know.
They've got great descriptions on them. And this is actually an abbreviated version